From Jason Howerton, 8 miles from the U.S. border, ISIS is operating a camp. Let me repeat that. 8 miles from the U.S. border, our southern border, the Islamic State is operating a camp near Juarez in the Mexican state. This is according to Judicial Watch, citing sources that include a Mexican Army field grade officer and a Mexican federal police inspector. Judicial Watch reports that the terror group has set up a camp in the area referred to as Anapra, and it is just a few miles south of El Paso. Messages left by the blaze to the Department of Homeland Security have not been returned yet. During the course of a joint operation last week, the Mexican Army and the federal law enforcement officials discovered documents in Arabic and Urdu, as well as plans of Fort Bliss. Where's Fort Bliss? That is a sprawling military installation that houses the Army's 1st Armored Division. Muslim prayer rugs also discovered with the documents during the operation. According to the same sources, coyotes engaged in human smuggling and working for the Juarez cartel helped move ISIS terrorists through the desert and across the border between Santa Teresa and Sunland Park, New Mexico. To the east of El Paso and Juarez, cartel-backed coyotes are also smuggling ISIS terrorists through the porous border between Ocala and Fort Hancock, Texas. The U.S. cities referenced above were intentionally selected because of the depleted municipal and county police forces and existing drug smuggling routes. Even more terrifying, the Blaze reports, Mexican intelligence sources told Judicial Watch that the Islamic State terrorists are scouting area universities, government facilities, and electrical power facilities near New Mexico. Now, can I ask you a question? How many times have you heard that nobody will do anything about the NSA because all the politicians will be too afraid to have somebody say, you stopped the NSA, and then we were hit by a terrorist? The American people have been saying our borders are porous. We know it. We know bad guys are coming across our border. How come no politician cares that ISIS is just across our border? That the federales in Mexico are now telling us that the drug cartels are smuggling ISIS into our country. And you're not hearing anybody say, well, not on my watch, because I don't want to be blamed for that. This is exactly the same monologue that I did in 1999. This is exactly the same monologue. Yesterday I gave you, let me see if I have it. ISIS releases a new 11-minute video claiming we will burn America. According to the New York Times, our general, commander of the American Special Operation Forces in the Middle East, said this is going to happen because we don't understand the movement called ISIS. And until we do, we're not going to defeat it. We have not defeated the idea. We don't even understand the idea. Officials acknowledge they have barely made a dent in the larger, longer-term campaign to kill the ideology that animates this terrorist movement. They are making this they're publishing this in English in the form of videos and audio recordings and magazines. And our government's not even talking about it. We are coming to America and we will burn America. And then today, late yesterday afternoon, the Blaze reports the new Islamic State of ISIS has a camp that is just south of our border. Where do we go from here? In God's name, where do we go from here? We all know the problem. This will lead to the Bubba effect. The Bubba effect we've been talking about for a long time. That when the feds finally come in, and they're trying to tell you how to live your life, and something bad has happened, some big terrorist strike, and they're telling you what you have to do to prepare while they're washing their hands of the terrorist strike, while they're blaming it on everything but them, and while they're telling you you're going to have to change your life and adjust, somebody's going to stand up and say, go to hell. I'm not doing what you are telling me to do. Because you knew about this the whole time, and you did nothing. They came across our southern border, and we were the ones telling you to seal our southern border, and you did nothing. So go to hell. That's going to happen. And it's not going to happen just with a group. It's going to happen with a group of states. They will say enough is enough. You did nothing to protect us. I don't know where you go with this. That's why they're watching us. They're more afraid of the people than they are ISIS. ISIS is here. ISIS is here.
Well, they're still a few miles away. I mean, what would it take?
Yeah, didn't you say they were 8 miles across the border?
8 miles.
Yeah, they've been smuggled in.
Do they have cars? I can't imagine they have cars.
They only have camels, and we'll be able to recognize that when they come across on camels, and we'll say, no, you're not coming across.
Just implement a no camel crossing policy.
Right. Look at how full of Arabic speaking neighborhoods are in Dallas, Texas. A ton. That new mosque is here with the one that, is trying to get the city council to vote against accepting foreign laws. It's right here. How are you going to know who the good guys and the bad guys are? How are you going to know? ISIS starts to hit us here. What do you think's going to happen? Exactly what many in this administration would like to happen. We'll tear each other apart. It will be horrendous. Then what? Then how do you put it back together? You know what kills me is the youth of this nation, they think peace and prosperity just happen. That's the normal state of the world. That this is easy to have a country like this. They have no idea. It's never been like this. In all of the history of man, this is a fluke. You rock this apart. As bad as it is, you rock this apart. You don't put this back together. The people of Egypt.